gamers, it's me, LifeSpiller79, and this is my show. I'm so excited about the channel and everything that's been going on over the past year of 2012 and now transitioning on into 2013. In this video, I just wanted to talk about my most anticipated games, like my top 5 anticipated games of 2013, because there's a lot of games that I've been waiting for. I've kind of digressed a little bit on the current gen games because I'm really waiting on the next consoles, PS4 or whatever it's going to be called, or the next product that comes out from Microsoft. I don't know what it's going to be, so I'm really excited. I'm going to talk about those things and then also talk about some of the pickups. But before I do those things, I just wanted to give a big shout out to everyone that's either liked, subscribed, watch my videos, because currently I'm at 150 subscribers, which I'm really excited about. It's just been a long journey, but you guys have been there along the way. My collection is growing like crazy and I'm just really excited about it. And as it gets bigger and bigger, I'll do another collection video and show you an updated look. But right now it's steady growing, and I'm really excited about that. But I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's just been watching, tuning in. Tell all your friends, family about me, gamers, non-gamers, so we can get them turned on to the gaming community as well. But first of all, or not first of all, but anyway, I want to talk about my top 5 anticipated games of 2013. Number 5 is Dead Space 3. Because I've actually been following along with the series of part 1 and part 2. Part 3 I'm excited about because of the drop in and drop out effect of co-op. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I've been talking with a few people on Twitter and then talking with a few people on other social networks as well. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. From the looks of it, from what I saw from E3, it looks astonishing. I mean, I think it's going to work well together. The only factor that I'm really worried about is taking out the element of the scare of you being on a solo mission, because I like the solo mission. So I guess with the co-op, it's really more of a deciding factor. You can decide whether or not to put that person in. So I'm hoping that turns out really well. Number 4, it's going to be Last of Us. I'm excited about that because it's by one of my favorite production groups, or gaming companies, I guess you can say, Naughty Dog. You know, the ones that have made Uncharted and then Jack and Dexter and also your Ratchet and Clank. So it's really promising. It's got the whole apocalyptic feel to it, but it's more of a survival, not too much on the zombie side of things, because we've seen too much of that with all your Dead this and Dead that or whatever, or Rising, you know, Dead Island and your Left 4 Dead and stuff like that. So, but it's more gritty, it's more grimy, it's more about survival, and I like that. It kind of gives me the feel of I Am Alive a little bit, but it's going to be a tag team, because you're going to be working along with the girl, and you know, you got the father and everything, and from what I gathered yet again with E3, it looks to be promising. So yes, I'm definitely, I've been anticipating this probably even before E3. I think even a little bit before that, which brings me to my number 3 game. I've always been a big fan. I pretty much have played every single Grand Theft Auto game. So my number 3 pick is Grand Theft Auto 5. It takes place in California. We're going back to San Andreas, and they never cease to amaze me. Even when they dived outside of the GTA world and went into like Red Dead Redemption, and then also let's see, even LA Noire, which is another great game. If you haven't played it, you should check that out. It's really good. I'm actually making my second run through that on the 360. It's really good, realistic graphics, and Red Dead Redemption definitely is a good game to pick up. I prefer on the PS3. I mean, that's just my preference, but I love that game. They've also managed, Rockstar has managed to go outside of that and take to another company that basically kind of coincide or work together. But that's my number 3 pick, which is GTA 5. And then my number 2 pick, no surprise, is God of War Ascension. I am probably one of the biggest God of War fans, hands down. I got 1, 2, 3. I've played even the ones on the PSP, Ghost of Sparta, Ghost of Sparta and Chain of Olympus. At this point, I've beat every version. I've even had it on my mobile device, which was terrible. But yeah, Ghost of Sparta Ascension, based off of the graphics of what I've seen and even the storyline, it looks like it's somewhere between 1 and 2. It's looking like it's somewhere after he's betrayed by Ares, somewhere between that long. And I think it's actually a little bit before that, because his skin is still white, so that means he's already the Ghost of Sparta. So that team, the Santa Monica team, they never cease to amaze me either, and I'm never disappointed with the games. So I'm really pumped up for God of War Ascension. I'm definitely going to pre-order that. I might get the special edition. I don't know. I'll have to see. And then my number one pick, I actually heard about this game about probably almost 3 years ago. It's been delayed. It's been pushed aside a couple times. Is BioShock Infinite. Man, I definitely fell in love with the first one, BioShock, and it took a while for part 2 to grow on me, but eventually it did grow on me, and I have been building with anticipation ever since the announcement back. I think they started talking about it back in 2010, and ever since then I like the whole dynamics of being in the air instead of being in the water, because you know they did 1 and 2 in the water, which I think the continuation of 1 and then 2 being in the water again kind of gave it mixed reviews, and then, you know, some people wasn't happy with that whole idea. It grew on me. I'm actually making my second run through part 1 because I loved it so much. I'm still looking for part 2 again. I'll probably get it for my PS3 just to add it to my collection. But yeah, I'm definitely not number one pick for 2013 is going to be BioShock Infinite, just because of the building of anticipation. It's probably the one I've had to wait on the longest, the one that I've been excited about the longest. So yeah, I'm definitely waiting on that one. Now moving along to my picks, or my actual pickups. I've been on Craigslist, like major time on Craigslist. I actually met up with another dude. I need to start taking more film and pictures, but man, it was so cold. Texas normally is hot. We're known for being hot because we're so doggone close to the equator. But nerd fact. Anyway, it was freezing that day. But the dude that I met up with, he had more than, I think he had about 4 crates, and from top to bottom, it was probably about this big, from top to bottom, just filled to the rim of SNES games. And so I picked up a few right off the top that were near and dear to me, that just gave me that old school feel, just brought up them old memories of nostalgia that tied into me. So the first game that I picked up was Adventure Island. And actually, Adventure Island, I picked this up at, where did I pick this one up? Trying to remember. Oh, I actually got this at Movie Trading Company. And I went on and paid about $10 for this. And it's okay. The graphics, they hold up. I mean, for the standards of 2013, they hold up pretty well. I can't say that the graphics don't hold up, but the font and the size of the size of the character and the size of the health bar is like overly large. And I think that was the whole thing with the Super Error. They kind of went with everything just being monstrous and being so big and over the top. The next game that I got, now I did actually pick this up from him, was World Heroes. Kind of has that Street Fighter feel to it. It's a little more bootleg. I put it in, I fired it up yesterday and I played it. Still kind of has the old feel to it. I'm kind of mixed right now. I probably could play it a little bit more, but yeah, I definitely remember playing this. And then the next game that I got was this actually is a game, one of my favorite games off of the SNES, which is Yoshi Island or Super Mario World 2, whichever you prefer. It's a matter of fact, right now, even the music is still popping in my head because each stage is memorable. Each moment is memorable. I've always been a big fan of Yoshi anyway, so for them to bring this game out just added on to that feeling for me that just stays near and dear to my heart, man. And I'm so pumped up to have this in my collection. I actually paid $15 for that one. The World Heroes I paid $5 for, but yeah, Super Mario World or Super Mario World 2 or Yoshi's Island basically takes off where Mario gets kidnapped and you got to get him back, and it's the whole little feeling of keeping him alive, and so you're able to change through all these Yoshis, which is interesting to me. I mean, you got the different color Yoshis, but that doesn't affect the color. The colors, like in part 1, doesn't affect him to be able to fly or spit fire or anything like that. But he does gather the ability to be able to fly as for like it's more like a flutter, I guess you could say, for like a small period of time. But what I do like is the element of putting in modes of transportation, like you can be a submarine or you can be a helicopter. I think you can even be like a gopher or something like that and dig under the ground. You just hit the box and then it transitions. Yoshi becomes that item and stuff like that. They still put in the whole bonus stage, being able to hit the cars, match up the cars, or get your extra men and stuff like that. But it's very fast paced. Some of the stages are a little bit challenging, but challenging in a good way. Challenging enough to keep you interested. I definitely love the challenge of being able to try to max out 100% on each stage. So that definitely is a big game that I love. And one of the games that I was really looking for, and this game is in really good condition. This year I'm going to try to start boxing my game, getting my games in boxes. Maybe not the SNES, maybe the NES, because they're a little easier. Plus I don't like the condition of the SNES games if you don't get it pristine condition. But this game came in pristine condition, which is Mega Man X. I am like one of the biggest Mega Man fans. I know I say that a lot about a lot of games, but I have been in love with Mega Man probably since I was a young boy, teenager, probably 11 or 12 or something like that. I played this yesterday and this definitely holds up. I actually put pictures of it on Twitter and on Facebook, but it came in really good condition, and I had to pay a little bit on it. And matter of fact, I think I paid $20 for it, so I'm really pumped about that. And the next item I got from him that I've been looking for, because I grew up in the Game Boy area, but I never had a Game Boy. The 3DS is actually the first handheld device from the Nintendo era that I finally got, because I had a PSP for the longest time. I had a PSP for probably several years, and I was excited to add that to my collection. But I've been looking for the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. Some people are like, oh my god, I don't want to do the battery thing, but I still want it. But I actually found the Super Game Boy. He actually had this in his collection, and he gave it to me for $5, because one guy, he told me he had it, and he got me all pumped up, and then he was like, oh man, I forgot. He was looking through his stacks, and he was like, man, I already sold it. So now I've been going through all the little thrift stores and stuff like that, and been looking for this game really cheap, or looking for some Game Boy games. Maybe I'll buy a lot, like maybe a whole lot of them, like maybe 20 or 30 of them all at once or something like that. See if I can give me a little bargain. And then I went back to the half price bookstore, and I found one of my favorite games. Not my favorite Mario game, but one of my favorites. And this one actually came in good condition. It's Super Mario Bros. 3. I already beat it again. Spent maybe a few hours or so just going through each stage and just reliving the adventures of this game. An old memory for me, because what's funny, I was explaining to my son, is that back then we couldn't save the games. He was laughing about that. He was like, yeah, so I recall you telling me about that, Dad. I was like, yeah, you would have to leave the game running. So back then I couldn't afford a Nintendo. I didn't have a Nintendo until probably 3-4 years after it had already been out. My mother finally got me one. But my friend, he had got Super Mario Bros. 3, and I was so pumped after watching The Wizard. I really wanted this game really bad, and so I spent the night, kind of used him, spent the night over his house, and I stayed up all night, because I knew that if once I turned the Nintendo off, it was over. I wasn't gonna be able to play it from that point again. So I would stay up like literally all night until the sun came up. I wouldn't even go to sleep. I would play the game and play over and over and over until I beat the game. And I was finally successful. Probably after 5 or 6 times of spending the night, I was able to finally successfully beat the game. But yeah, Super Mario Bros. 3 is, it's not my favorite Mario. My favorite Mario still to this day is Super Mario World. But and it goes Super Mario World, Super Mario Bros. 2, and then 3, and then 1. I know it's crazy to people, but go figure. Everybody loves everything for different reasons. I think with Super Mario World, it's just because there's so many memories tied into it, and that's why it's, you know, it was the first game that I got that was so big, and I had waited so long and finally got it. And so I'm glad to add this to my collection. And then the last game that I got here is Astro Boy for the PS2. I got this from Hash Price Bookstore, and by the way, I think Super Mario Bros. 3 I got that for $10. I think they got me for that one. And then Astro Boy, I paid about $3 or $4 for this. I know it's crazy. Most people are like, oh my god, what are you doing with Astro Boy? Ain't that like some anime cartoon game? But I loved it. I love it because of the hero element. I am a big hero guy. I am the guy that pushes for the hero to save the day, and Astro Boy is basically a robot that was meant for evil, and he had all these basically the guy that created him had all these evil plans for him to take over, rule the robots, rule over the world, and rule over Metro City. But he had other plans, and the first time I had it, which was years and years ago, probably back in 03 when this, I think it came out originally in 03, I didn't beat it. I got to the very end. I don't know why I couldn't beat it, but I think I beat it in like 2 days. I got to the end. I was like, I don't know why I couldn't beat this doggone game. I realized why I couldn't beat it, because the ending of the game had about 5 parts to it. You not only had to kill this guy on the horse, not to ruin it for anybody that may want the game, but then you had to kill the guy off the horse. So basically you had to take out his horse, then you had to take him out, then you had to go ahead and take out the rocket that was coming towards the planet Earth to destroy it. So it was like you had to do that pretty much on 1 bar of energy. So it was, now I realize. But yeah, this game, I'm glad to add this to my collection. But those are my pickups. That's my anticipated games. And if I didn't get the chance to say it, Happy New Year's and many more wishes, man. I'm hoping to just grow in the YouTube community and the gaming community, and get as many subscribers as possible, and just try to stick to the same way of doing things, but just take on different things, like doing reviews of games, still doing some trades with others, just talking about controversial topics, not being afraid to take on those things, taking my place with whatever side it is, and just making my own standpoint. But other than that, I'm LifeSpiller79, and gamers, just tell me how your life is as a gamer, and I'm out. Oh yeah, don't forget, please like, subscribe to my channel, comments, questions, whatever. Do whatever you want. Tell me whatever is on your mind, even if it's against the grain. We'll just chop it up in the comment section. Alright, thank you guys. Bye.